So I propose that we are using definitions of power that are wildly outdated. And it is costing us a lot mentally, emotionally, and physically, and we don't even know it. For me, the subliminal messages that I received from the world around me growing up was that the path to power was you go to high school. After high school, you go to college. After college, you find a mountain to climb that is a job, and that is when you'll feel powerful and confident and secure. So I did my due diligence, and I chose the corporate mountain. And when I walked into the corporate mountain, I set my sights for the top. There was a very prestigious position that I just knew when I got there, that's when I would feel exactly how I wanted to feel. This thing that people were talking about, this power thing, that's when I'd feel it. So for 6 years of my life, I sacrificed, I conquered, I competed, I did whatever it took to get that position. And I will never forget how it felt when they called me and they said, "Morgan, we would like to offer you the job." The absolute euphoria, the bliss. I finally understood what power meant. I was living the dream for about 2 days. And after the second day, this feeling of power that I had chased for so long began to be fleeting. And I had a very cold, sobering moment of a truth with myself where I realized that I had sacrificed 6 years of my life for 2 days of momentary fulfillment. I started to get conscious on what was the cost of this blindly following someone else's path to power, letting someone else define for me what power means. This picture is the best representation that I could find of what my life looked like when I was so powerful. This is a version of me who had more money than I knew what to do with. My condo was beautiful. My car was paid off. I was sleepwalking through my life. What you'll also notice in this picture is I'm literally passed out. And what happened is I would often work 18-hour workdays to show how committed I was. And I was sacrificing my body, and I would treat myself or let off some steam and have some relaxation via a bottle of wine. On top of that, this version of me had 5 autoimmune diseases. One of which was sinusitis, which is a chronic inflammation of the sinus cavities, and I constantly had to medicate myself to get through my life. So this is a picture of me with Benadryl and wine, and I wish I could tell you that this was an anomaly, but it was not. This is what my life looked like when I was following someone else's path to power. So I started to think about, what does power actually mean? And I began on this path where I started to enlist other people to help me explore. And I remember there was a woman who asked me a question that changed it all. She could see what was blatantly obvious to the outside world, that I didn't actually feel worthy of living an amazing, majestic life. And she said, Morgan, do you know how lovable you are? I was confused, so she rephrased, Morgan, do you think you are lovable? I can still feel the emotions that I experienced. I was confused and I was sad. I was confused because no one had ever stopped to ask me, how did I feel on the path I was following? Did I love being me? I was confused because if they had asked, are you confident or successful, by what I perceived confidence to be back then, which was my ability to achieve, I would have said yes. But do you think you're lovable? I could not get the word yes to come out of my mouth. And in that moment, I realized that I had power so wrong. And it awakened me to realize that I needed to go within for my own answers. And so I took the leap. I left the corporate job just because it wasn't my jam. And I started to ask myself questions like, Morgan, what do you want? What do you want to experience? What do you want to learn? What do you want to explore? Where do you want to go? And my life became about finding the power that is inside me. As you can see from this picture, I now actually go out in the world and climb real mountains instead of corporate mountains. I ask myself, and what else do you want, Morgan? This is me learning how to fly a plane. I laugh because when I was sleepwalking through life, not many people had an opinion or asked me many questions. But they sure do have an opinion now that I'm living. Why do you want to learn to fly a plane? Because I want to. Because I want to. That is powerful desire. And what else do you want, Morgan? As you can tell, I like to fly. This is me on my 36th birthday, hang gliding, because I wanted to feel what it was like to fly like a bird. Because I just wanted to. It may not be your thing, but there's something inside you that you want to do, that you want to learn, that you want to be, that you want to do, but you have to give yourself permission to do it. You will not find the permission from the outside world. This is a picture of me. I love this picture. It's actually one of the most recent pictures. I gave myself permission to honor a lifelong dream that I had of living somewhere warm. And I bought a convertible. And I now drive around Miami with the top down just because it makes me happy. And so it's about giving yourself permission to change the internal dialogue that allows you to take into consideration how much time you spend loving being you. And here's what I'll tell you. This version of me now, has healed all 5 autoimmune diseases. Because when you're off your path, your body tells you. Your body screams at you that you are off your path. And oftentimes we medicate. And when you're on your path, what you'll realize is that your body celebrates you. And so while this was a journey to get to where I am now, and it did not happen overnight, what I want you to know is that if I can do it, so can you. And there are 2 questions that you can ask yourself all day, every day, consistently, that will allow you to really step into more of your own majestic life, whatever that means to you. And the 2 questions are, What would allow you to love being you even more in this moment, tomorrow, next week, consciously being the master creator of your own life? And what do you want? And what else do you want? And what else do you want? And in today's day and age, we are all choosing to do so many different things. I'm watching women stay at home with children, climb corporate mountains, grow epic empires. It's just understanding that no matter what it is that you choose to do and be, that you make sure you don't lose yourself in the journey, that you don't sacrifice yourself. And consciously asking yourself, where in your own life might you be subconsciously sleepwalking? Where in your own life might you accidentally, subconsciously be handing your power away and letting someone else define power for you? What paths might you be blindly following and handing that power to someone else? You get to be the master creator of your own majestic life. And what I have learned is that power is actually an inside job. And to me, that is an idea worth spreading. Thank you. Thank you.